Intro.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalatu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope all of you have a good condition. First of all, thank you for joining to this event. I hope all of you can enjoy it. By the way, do you ever see English sentences around you? For example, like on your phone, television, movies, or everywhere. Have you ever seen? And then, if you find some sentences that you don't know the meaning, what's the item that you use for translate it? Well, based on ELSA 2019, in this era, technology is very sophisticated at all in any field, not least in the field of education. The internet is one of the most technologies and makes many people find it easy to do many things, as experienced by students in translating text from one text to another, such as Google Translate. That's why I think that a lot of students are using Google Translate for translating text from one language to another, isn't it? But the question is Google Translate give us some benefit or not? So, today I am Kirana Defani from Public Speaking Class 4E, and I want to tell you about the benefit of using Google Translate in translating text from students' perspective that I already read from journal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have three things that I want to tell you. Firstly, what is the definition about translation? Secondly, how many percent students are using Google Translate? And the last one, what are the benefits of using Google Translate from students' perspective? Well, translation based on Crystal 1987 states that the term translation is the neutral term used for all talks whereof the meaning of an expression on a language or such language is tuned into the meaning of target language, whether the medium is spoken, written, or silent. As a linguistic textual operation, translation is, however, subject to and substantially influenced by the variety of extra-linguistic factors and conditions. So that, with the advancement of technology in this era, students need tools that can help them to translate words in easy way, and namely Google Translate. Google Translate is a translation engine that is very easy to use with a mobile phone. Because Google Translate is already very famous, there are a lot of studies conducted to examine about Google Translate itself. Then there are a lot of researches too about investigating the use of Google Translate, one of it in term and condition. But from many studies that have been carried by many researchers on the translation engine that is Google Translate, there is no researcher has examined the benefit of using Google Translate from students' perspective. So, the researchers will conduct research about this matter because surely Google Translate has benefits, so it's used by many people, especially by students. Then, after we already seen the definition about translation, now let's find out about how many percent students are using Google Translate. So, the objective of this study is to describe the use of Google Translate obtained from the result of the questionnaire from 43 students and the benefits that have been given by Google Translate to students obtained from interviews with several students. The results of this study are categorized into, firstly, the use of Translate by students, and secondly, the benefit of using Google Translate from students' perspective. From an existing translation machine, Google Translate is one of the translation machines that are very familiar to many people, especially among students, namely education. Google Translate has been widely used because it can be accessed on each student's mobile phone. Based on figure that I obtained, there are 35 students or 81% that are using Google Translate, and there are 8 students or 19% students that are not using Google Translate. So, based on the result that I can be seen, that are many students at 11th grade use Google Translate in translating text. So, do you know about the use of Google Translate by students now? Let's discuss the benefit of using Google Translate from students' perspective. From the result of interviews conducted to several students, it can be explained that Google Translate has many benefits in translating text. According to the students, Google Translate has a great benefit in their English learning process, namely in translating text. The benefit provided by Google Translate is that the students no longer need to bring a dictionary to the school. They say that they are very lazy to bring the dictionary in the school because it can add the bond in their bags. Then they say that the benefit provided by Google Translate is that they don't need to look up the meaning of the one vocabulary one time. As done is when using dictionary, even in Google Translate can translate dozens of words and the grammar is correct. Unlike the dictionary can only search from meaning of one meaning word and the students often have difficulty in combining the words. And also, the Google Translate does not require a lot of internet quota in the work process. So, in conclusion, we have discussed about definition about translation, the use of Google Translate by students, and the benefit of using Google Translate from students' perspective. So, translation means is the process of transferring one language or source language to another language or target language. So now, in this era, technology is very sophisticated in any field, not least in the field of education. The internet is one of the most rewarding technologies, makes many people find it easy to do many things, as experienced by students in translating text from one language to another. Google Translate is a translation engine that is very easy to use and very helpful, especially for students. That's why there are a lot of students are using Google Translate for translating text, and it's more efficient because it's not only can translate one by one word, but also Google Translate can translate sentence with almost exact grammar. So, let us use Google Translate to make learning language easier. I think enough for me. Thank you for attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.